information, whatever works becomes valued.
Exactly.
When information is scarce, okay, do you know there's something about Nigerians? If I do this thing and it's working, everybody wants to do it.
Yes.
Why does everybody want to do it? Is it because everybody just wants to imitate you? In the scarcity of information, whatever becomes of value to someone becomes imitated. The reason why we are sort of imitating some losers called celebrities that bring all sorts of immoralities online and they are being celebrated is because they are being paid. Okay, look at the Nigerian media today. Everywhere you will see how to knack for 20 hours, how to knack for 5 hours.
Nigerian media?
Yes. Ladies, just go online. You will be so irritated. While other countries are even showing you some little bit of creativity.
Social media.
Yeah.
Nigerian social media space.
Nigerian social
Why
media
some other
space,
countries are showing you how to maybe melt this cup and turn it into something else. Just go into the Nigerian space, how to knack for 20 hours, how to have big bula. Why are every lady now wanting to do this? You will see that almost 9 out of 10 ladies are doing the same content, how to have big bula. Because in this case, in the scarcity of education, economic education, whatever works is what everyone wants to imitate.
Welcome to Vicinfluential podcast. Today I have two incredible guests with me, and we are going to deliberate on Nigerian issue. We are going to talk a little bit extensively because what we are going to deliberate on is not what is happening right now, but is what is going to help Nigerian future. In 2050, Nigeria is projected to be third populous nation in the world. That's about over 400 million people. And we don't want our people to be 400 million nuisance. We don't want Nigeria to be producing nuisance and exporting them to the world. We want Nigeria to be producing something that will make the nation proud. And because of the things that we've noticed or the things that we know, I'm a Nigerian, I know where I come from, I know what is going on in the country already. So we want to help to erase whatever that has been indoctrinated into our youths, our fathers, me, how we grew up. We want to see how we can change it, begin to direct them. We that have seen something that is working, we want to see how we can help to direct them into the right path. So I'm going to start by my far right. Can you introduce yourself to my audience?
Okay, my name is Mr. Samson Wonkulu, a criminal psychologist. Thank you.
Yeah, and this gentleman, today is your first time coming to Vicinfluential, right?
Mr. Victor,
yes.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I've actually been seeing this podcast online. I must say you're doing an amazing work.
Thank you.
And I'm really, really impressed.
Yes.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I decided to say, okay, I want to be here. I want to contribute my own quarter.
Yeah.
So I go by the name Abiola Ayuade. I'm a logistic professional. I live here in UAE, Dubai precisely. So it's nice to meet you.
Yeah. So which part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm a Yoruba man. I'm from Ogun State precisely.
Ogun State.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Sampson?
Well, I'm from the East,
Okay.
Anambra State.
All right. And I am from Abia State. I think Nigeria is well represented on the set today,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So we'll try to let Nigerians know, and this is not going to be only today we leave it alone. So this is what we are going to be doing as time goes on, to be letting Nigerians know 25 years from now to 2020, from now to 2050 is 25 years, right?
Yeah.
So whatever that has been already in their psyche, we are going to try to let them know that, okay, you can do better. And we'll also try to show them results. That's skills. If you did not go to school, that is not the end of the road for you, right? You can learn anything that you want to learn. There is coding. There are a lot of things that you can do right now to help the society. 400 million people is going to be after India, China, then Nigeria, overtaking United States of America, right? So the workforce, 400 million is a lot of people.
Exactly.
So if 30 million people can take it serious, they can provide a lot of job. They can provide a good environment for Nigerians. So that is what we are trying to let them, that is what we are going to deliberate and set today. So, Mr. Samson.
My brother.
Yes, you heard my intro, right? 400 million people. How can we go about, what can we start talking on set now? What can Nigerians start doing right now so that we will not produce a 400 million nuisance?
Talking about 400 million people, I begin to imagine if we are creating 400 million consumers by 2050, where will Nigeria be? It will be like, Michael Jackson's slide, when he's sliding backwards.
Yes.
He'll be sliding backwards for how many decades?
If we are not being productive.
If we are not being productive. Because Nigeria still remains a consuming nation. A nation where we have creative people, but yet no creative assets on ground. A nation where we have intelligent people, but then I don't know, the indoctrination that is limiting our people is keeping us behind despite our intelligence, our insightfulness, smartness, and all. So if we are beginning to create 400 million consumers by 2050, then I'm sure Nigeria will be exiting from its popularity right now. They call us giants of Africa. Are we going to just be giant by population, or we're going to be giant by being the biggest consumers, or we're going to be giant by, sending back our creativity to influence other African nations as the real giant? One factor I will talk about today is the wrong indoctrination we've been getting right from the onset.
Psychological warfare.
Psychological, academical, economical, political. And then, if I want to go into this, I would like to start one by one. I will not even touch the religion too much. Let me start with the educational aspect. My brother, many of us go university. Pardon, I'm going to be speaking English pidgin English once in a while. Many of us go university. And when we learn different courses, but in the end, are we using those courses to put food on our table today?
No, we're not.
No. Because why? It seems like after the British colonization and then their exit, we all just learned some few things we learned from paper that we cannot bring into reality. We cannot relate these things that we learned to reality. I sat with someone who read electrical engineering. And me, I am a little bit a tech fan. So I wanted to connect just a battery to an inverter. This technician is afraid to touch it. He go shock me. Oh. You are an electrical engineer, BSc, and you fear say this thing will shock you, which means you don't even know the nitty-gritties on connecting this thing. What am I saying in a nutshell? We just have bookshelf education. Practical education we don't have. Look at China. How many times you see a China kid unproductive? Why are they productive? There is lots of vocational training. There is lots of economic empowerment. There is lots of entrepreneurship training. These trainings are practical hands-on trainings that are going to yield you economically. Not these delayed tactics that we call education in Nigeria, where you waste how many years in primary school, you waste how many years in secondary school, you go to university, you waste how many years, and then they give you NYSC to waste another extra year, and then you still come out unproductive. The same government who told you, read and become the leader of tomorrow, will still come and tell you, get a POS and start your life. So you went through all this education only to get a POS, right?
And also, when you come out, church will tell you to be praying.
And the church will tell you to be praying for a miracle. A miracle, where is the miracle going to come from? Is Jesus going to put an alert on your bank account?
The psychological warfare that was done to us was from every angle.
Nigeria is a giant that is in chain. Nigerian youths are in a chain. We are giants, quite right. Listen to me. Nigerians, we are great people. We're very wonderful people. Go round. I'm a Nigerian. Not because I'm a Nigerian I'm saying this. No, I'm not trying to be xenocentric here. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, we are great giants on that chain. And this chain is not like this chain came after we grew up to an extent. This chain was as a result of colonization. And even when these colonizers left, we now started becoming recolonized by our own people because of their greed. So if we cannot break out of this chain, it's going to be difficult, but it's something we need to start, like you have said, gradually. It's a mind reorientation. It's an emancipation. An emancipation is not an immediate process. It's a gradual process. First, let's focus on productivity so that we can have direction here. Our educational system does not produce productive youths. Our educational system is a delayed tactics. Mind you, I told you there are many facets of our chains. So I don't want to confuse us. That's why I'm focusing on education. Otherwise, there are many other facets we'll talk about.
But I also don't think education is the problem.
I know why. There's a reason why I started from education. Because education is the first source to knowledge. And knowledge is the main door to what? Economic power, self-entrepreneurship. So this is why I keen on education. Otherwise, we have religion, we have politics, we have many other angles. But education is power because why? Even though you devalue education, trust me, it is through education you could learn how to produce something. It is through education you could learn how to market something.
And education is not just about going into the four walls of the classroom and just reading the books and passing the examinations. It goes beyond that. I mean, I feel like in our schools, we lack a lot of things. And one of the things that the schools lack, basically right from time, is that they really don't, incorporate vocational studies into the minds of our people right from time. Even those that go out to get these vocational works done by themselves, they don't have the financial capacity to go out there and be able to, get things done at the end of the day. At the end of the day, they end up, maybe getting POS or even just walking down the street. And you see, there's this mindset of in the mind of the people right now, especially our youth. Because there's this saying that when in a society, when the youth get it wrong, the whole country gets it wrong. So I feel like in our youth minds right now, we want to have this fast way to success. We have this mentality that we want to get things done as fast as possible. You see 15, 16, 17 years old boy is thinking of how to buy a car. He's not thinking of, okay, what will I do to be productive?
Yes.
To be able to get this car. He just wants to get the fast lane to success. I mean, you see our ladies, they don't believe that they can get things done by themselves. I mean, every young ladies out there, they just believe that, okay, I'm beautiful. Then the next thing is they want to depend on a man for their source of income. I mean, what makes you think that what that man can do, you can't do it better? No, I feel like this thing is just about, it's about the mindset. Yeah. We need to reorientate people. We need to let them understand that things can be done better as humans. I mean, we are people of, when you go out there, people say Nigerians are very courageous, Nigerians are very loud, Nigerians cannot be intimidated. I feel like we're not using our capacity very well in a lot of ways that we can. I feel like if we use our capacity in the right way, we are going to break boundaries.
So I want to give a little example. Sorry. I said, when you were saying something, I said, I don't think education is the problem. So I want to ask this question. In Nigeria right now, what state would you say is the most productive by indigenes in Nigeria?
Well, it will shock you if I tell you because people will think I'm being tribalistic. The eastern part.
No,
Abia State. Abia State, Anambra State. They are very productive.
I would say Anambra State. I would say Anambra State is the most productive state in Nigeria by indigenes. By indigenes, right? And why? Because of how productive is not that everybody in Anambra went to school.
Exactly.
You understand? But it's because of how everybody was trained by entrepreneurship, this thing that they do also,
trading.
Trying to trading, right?
Trading, yeah.
You train somebody, and after so many years, depending on the agreement, you empower the person, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That is what we're talking about right now. And if you check it also by state, you will see that Anambra will have the least state of people doing Yahoo in Nigeria.
They are productive. They are trained to be productive.
Productive.
So
Yeah.
this is what I am talking about that we need to be doing at scale right now. It's not just Anambra doing it, right? Everybody, it has to. It's going to be all hands on deck. It's not, if you did not go to school, there are other things you can do. Most people in Anambra that did not even go to school are employing people with first class, whatever.
Yeah.
You understand? So God has given you brain. You have common sense. That's the major thing. You have to put it to work. Whatever. There are so many things you can learn right now without going to school. Coding. Most things that has to do online. There are so many things that you can do. Take it serious. Before you know it, you start employing people. Right? And if you also check or look at yourself, I know most people are mentally lazy. Most. If you ask me now, I would say 70% of Nigerian youth are mentally lazy.
Exactly.
That is where
it was done to
indoctrination.
them. It was done to them purposely.
But that is the indoctrination we are talking
Indoctrination,
about.
yeah.
And that is the reason why I prioritized education. I haven't really emphasized on education.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't use education. Maybe we should use, like you just said now, like reorientation.
Education, reorientation has all got to do with working on the mind. You see where Nigerians' change started. Once you say education, what just comes into your mind is going to the four walls of school.
Yeah.
Education is beyond going to the four walls of school.
Yeah.
And that is why I said Nigerians' educational system was limited to paperwork. And then you get a certificate and a graduate.
Exactly.
But at the graduate, you are unproductive.
You're
And
not-
then when you travel abroad, you drop your certificate in a closet. And then you start looking for skills. Is that not what's happening?
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's be frank. Most of us who did master's degree and all from Nigeria, what are we using it here? We kept it in the chef. We learned again from on ground. Started taking more training. I lost count of trainings I've done here, despite all the degrees I have brought back here. Okay, I'll give you a story. Before I started planning to travel, I went through rigorous education. Even after finishing my master's degree, I still did a lot of rigorous educations and getting a lot of certificates. And then when I got here, the first interview, when I met the interviewer, the English no get front, you no get back. You're coming, going, you coming, going, coming. I was like, yeah? Where I want to start with this kind of English? When I don't already prepare myself, say I want to give this guy better grammar now, phonetics, everything. You tell me you coming, going. My dear, they don't care about your English. They care about your input.
Yes.
And that is where Nigeria
What do you have
is
to offer?
lacking. Vocational training, 0. Practical trainings, 0. All we are surrounded with is religious indoctrinations, delay tactics called education. Nigeria is just a place where you just delay people through youth service and through all the educational system, then they will now leave you in the street with nothing.
It's nothing.
And
Yeah.
before the person will start getting a basic understanding about how the world works,
Works,
the person
it's
is already
It's already
getting
gone.
old,
Maybe
yeah.
40 and over.
Yes, it's
They say a
already
fool
old.
at 40. Now, I will tell you why they say a fool at 40. It's not like
It's
the
not in
person is
Nigeria.
actually
I
a
think
fool.
in Nigeria
He has
today,
been
fools are
indoctrinated.
So-
I wouldn't have had a this possibility or positive mindset had it not been I escaped Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So Nigeria is a country where you have giants in chain.
Okay, I think it has to do with our politics. You know, our government, I don't want to really delve into politics that much because I don't want this topic to be surrounded, to surround around politics. But I feel like our leaders are doing a lot of these things intentionally because they don't want our youth to have the knowledge and information that is necessary to be able to, to confront them the right way. They want this, especially when you go to the north. They are so when it comes to
They accept any circumstance.
mindset. Their mindset is so low. What they think of is, they don't even go to school like that. They
Okay,
don't
let me
even
give it. There's a caveat to that. According to what we are talking about right now, you will not see, there is no politician that you are going to name right now that is doing Yahoo. Right? We all know that everything that happens in Nigeria, we blame it on the politicians. Right? But you will not mention any politician that you see teaching anybody how to do Yahoo. You will not see any politician that is telling somebody that go and pray. No, I understand. You are going to hold politicians accountable because they did not provide a viable environment.
Exactly. That's my
I
point.
understand that.
Viable environment.
Viable environment,
Good.
they did not provide, and they did not provide any work policy that can help a small business thrive.
See, sometimes we think our Nigerians are lazy. See, I'll be very honest with you. Okay, fine. When it comes to funding people and all of these things, it's not something I will ever support and I will say is right. But trust me, sometimes some of these people that goes into this kind of business is not what they intended to. Some of them, they really want to work. I mean, Nigerians are hustlers. You know, we have this zeal of trying to, you know, to be
That is not the laziness I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about thinking and doing something that is productive and that will help the society.
That is the point. The right environment are not in place. We are in a country whereby you don't have constant electricity. You want to start a business, you don't even have capital. You don't have the right, you know, environment. You don't have policies in place to help you. You can't even get a loan. You have business ideas. You can't even go to any bank of industry to actually, you know, give them foresight of what you have in mind, and they help you. They will ask you for, what are you even talking about? What they're going to be asking you is what you cannot even provide.
And I don't see that happening in the nearest future.
I hope it doesn't.
So I don't see that happening. I don't see government creating a viable environment that will help Nigerians do something, right? So what can we do about that?
Okay, I feel like the little we
As
can,
we Nigerians,
the little we can on our own parties. Number one, like we said, reorientate people. Let them understand that there are a lot of things you can do now, especially when it comes to acquiring skills. You know, you can't fall short when you have skills. When you have skills, you have power. And information, they say, is power. I mean, we are in a world of information now. You can go anywhere. You don't even have to go about paying people to get information. You can go online, there's so many skills you can actually get online, on Google's, on YouTube. Be willing to be productive. You can't be a country of power without having information, without being productive. So if we can orientate people and there's this willingness to actually be productive, and to some extent, we have our own fault as youth. You see a youth, if you're telling him to go and farm, he will tell you, me, farm. The mentality. You don't understand that the way to life, he is farming. When you farm, you are actually contributing a lot into the economy, and you're going to make a lot of money. But, you know, there's this mindset that, okay, maybe farming is a dirty work. So if people can start having a change of mind, you know, have an understanding that these things, there is nothing like dirty work. What matters is, are you making money from it? I mean, 1,000 naira that you are making legally is far, 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 far better than 10,000 naira you are making and you can't work freely.
I want to give another example. You know, there are so many Nigerian content creators right now, and you see new ones going into content creating also. Why is that? It's because of most Nigerians have seen that, okay, content creating pays also.
Exactly.
You understand? Because people are doing content creating and they're also showing the results. Okay. Yeah. I've been creating, and you will see them maybe with car, you know, with flashy things. Okay, there is a reward in this thing that they are doing. Yeah. But there are also things you can do without creating content, and there is a reward, right? People, a good reward, a reward that can set you free, financially free, right? So people should, what I'm saying, what I think we should start doing is that thing that we see that is working and that will help our community grow. We should start doing it and showing them results, because it looks like Nigerians resonate more with results.
Exactly. People follow the crowd.
Yes. Yeah. So that is why I will also I will keep going back to Yahoo. That is why Yahoo people, what they do is they get car. You don't even know if it's rented. You don't even know. They just get money now and they're going to buy it and they sell it tomorrow. But Nigerians, because of they are seeing all these things these G guys are doing, that is why most of our youth follow this way.
This way, yeah.
And by 2050, 60% of our population is going to be under 30.
Exactly.
Now that's massive. It's going to be under 30. And if their energy is not rightfully channeled, it's not just going to be a problem to only Nigeria, it's also going to be a problem to other African countries. Because they will want to go out. And the people that cannot afford the good money to go, maybe UAE or America, I don't even want to mention Europe, they will go to the nearest country. Nobody knows what they are going to do there, right? So right now, AI is moving. Most of the thing that is going to be happening from now to the next 25 years, let me say, okay, because we're in Africa, right? 90% of it might have to do with internet.
Exactly.
So you have to learn how to use this computer.
Okay, so I feel like we've been making our point only based on reorientation. And to be very honest, a lot of things actually plays a role, not just reorientating people. So
It's also part of
But
it.
I think the reason why it seems like we're all playing within the circle of reorientation is because it's the basic foundation.
it is.
Nigeria
It is
is
actually.
chained morally and economically. Now, if you want to solve a problem, you go to the roots of the problem. I'm an eagle, but I was indoctrinated to think like I'm a chicken. It will take me time to believe that I can fly.
I can fly.
Even if Arokeli sings that song a million times. Because as an eagle, I was indoctrinated, trained, oriented to feel like a chicken. The roots of Nigerians' non-creativity started from our leaders. Back then, what did you used to call some political parties? Share the money. What did those parties indoctrinate in the youths? Fast life.
Exactly.
Just find the money anyway,
Anyhow,
make it, spend it. And then when you don't have it, go back to how you can do it. Wado, get it. And
Fast
then
lane.
it escalated into Yahoo. I'm trying to, summarize all you've been saying. So, the time our leaders were supposed to impact us with moral education and economical education, they were busy impacting us with the luxuries that they display and how they have to cheat and lie. In fact, in Nigeria, it's becoming honorable to cheat and lie and make money than it is to work hard.
And
This is why an average youth would not want to think of farming. Neither would he want to stress himself in the computer studying one AI. When will I be type? When will this thing bring up money? So when will I type this thing now and it's going to result to money?
Or thinking that it's difficult.
Or
It is
thinking
not.
that it's
It's
difficult, they
not
will
difficult.
they'll just be describing, I cannot, no.
It is
Let
not
me go and
difficult.
look for one white gear, or let me go and look for one Yahoo stuff. Because why? We have been indoctrinated to make it fast, spend it fast.
And one thing again, we are actually making people of no values celebrities in our countries. So that way, they go about, giving back the wrong information. You see some celebrities, they can never be a good role model because they don't even have what it takes to be a good role model. Some of these people, they come online, say a lot of things to our ladies, making them feel like the way to become, rich is to follow old men. Don't do this one. If a man is not doing this one for you, you dump him. They go just because they want to make content, they want to make money. They just come out, say anything. And, all these are gullible men, young men and women don't know that these people might not even be, they might not even be practicing what they are pushing. You understand? But because this is what they are presenting to them, and they are gullible, they feel like, okay, it is the way, and they follow suit.
But will you blame the youths?
That is
It's
the point.
because they are-
We
Now,
are
I will
making
not
the
blame
wrong
the
people
youths.
celebrities.
Let me tell you why I will not blame the youths.
We are making the wrong people celebrities.
In the
We need to stop making them.
scarcity of information, whatever works becomes valued.
Exactly.
When information is scarce, okay, do you know there's something about Nigerians? If I do this thing and it's working, everybody wants to do it.
Yes.
Why does everybody want to do it? Is it because everybody just wants to imitate you? In the scarcity of information, whatever becomes of value to someone becomes imitated. The reason why we are sort of imitating some losers called celebrities that bring all sort of immoralities online and they are being celebrated is because they are being paid. Okay, look at the Nigerian media today. Everywhere you will see how to knack for 20 hours, how to knack for 5 hours.
Nigerian media.
Yes. Ladies, just go online. You will be so irritated. While other countries are even showing you some little bit of creativity.
Social media.
Yeah.
Nigerian social media space.
Nigerian social
Why
media
some other
space.
countries are showing you how to maybe melt this cup and turn it into something else. Just go into the Nigerian space, how to knock for 20 hours, how to have big bula. Why are every lady now wanting to do this? You will see that almost 9 out of 10 ladies are doing the same content. How to have big bula. Because in this case, in the scarcity of education, economic education, whatever works is what everyone wants to imitate. This is why I keep coming back to politics in one way or the other.
I want to understand who you refer to as your leaders.
The government.
Okay. Now, the government are not going to do anything. They are not going to do anything to help you out from this predicament that our people
Let me finish. They have a role to play.
Okay.
Like I said, it is in our power, it is in our understanding to know that the change we seek begin with us. But at the same time, the people that are leading us have to provide the enabling environment. What I mean by enabling environment, okay, you want people to actually, be productive. In a country whereby electricity is a menace, how can people be productive? In a country whereby cost of living is so crazy, you have to be in sane mind to be able to think about being productive.
In Nigeria.
As a person, as human, when you're thinking about survival, the only thing that comes to your mind is how to survive.
Productivity dies.
Productivity dies.
Anxiety kills it.
That is the truth. So when you have an enabling environment, that will enable you to be able to be productive. At least when you have 3 square meal, you have shelter, good shelter. You can clothe yourself comfortably. Then you can think. But when you don't even have a place to stay, you won't be thinking about being productive. What you'll be thinking about is how to even sort that first. So I feel like our leaders need to put those things in place. Social amenities, transportation, health facilities.
But we've been waiting for our leaders for how many years now and nothing has happened?
That is why we say, while we're discussing about orientating people, we need to also pass a message to our leaders, the government, to also do better. Because it's our collective effort. If they really want a change in our economy, if you really want this country to be the world power we seek by 2050, they have a role to play. And they have to do the best.
If we have more Nigerians...
Because we're actually requesting for what is ours.
If we have more Nigerians being able to provide for their family can be able to reject 5, 10, 15,000 any politician is going to give.
How can they be productive
when
the right environment to be productive is not in place?
Yeah, it's not in place, but if we wait for them, I think what we are doing right now is to let our Nigerian people understand something. Right? That is what we are trying to...
I think the basic solution is this. Until the Nigerian youths are awoken, the government cannot be checkmated.
Exactly.
So if we are doing this project towards reawakening the mind of the Nigerian youths, then only the government can be checkmated. Because an average Nigerian youth is not ready to question the government because he feels chained. He feels this is what it is. This is how we just have to live. But when they are being reawakened, letting them understand that some of all these indoctrinations has to be changed, then you will find out that it will come to a point where they will begin to question the government. Because as a Nigerian, you begin to ask, okay, if I am a chicken, why do I have these big wings? Why is it that I have this capacity to fly, but yet I'm still walking like a chicken? Then when they begin to realize that they are actually eagles, then the government will wake up. Because trust me, no matter how we intend to talk empowerment into the Nigerians, it will end up being a motivation that ends in the doorway outside when there's no food to eat, or there's no good light, or there's no good road.
And our parents, they have a very vital role to also play. I mean, these days,
most of our parents right now are listening to their pastor coming back to pray.
Our parents are not helping situation. What I mean by not helping situation is that there's a charity begins at homes.
Yeah.
These days, there's no charity from home. You see a boy of 19 years old, still in secondary school, buying a car, and the mother is rejoicing.
Or using iPhone 16.
The mother is rejoicing, not even asking, how did you get the money to buy this car? They don't care. Just because maybe poverty, and maybe the boy is actually providing something for the family. So all they want is survival. They don't care about what the boy is doing to make that money. In fact, some of them even support. They know what the boy is doing.
Or
that
doesn't want
is
to
illegal.
hurt, or doesn't want to hurt the boy.
They even support them. They support them. Like, they don't feel like it's a bad thing. You will see mothers knowing that his female child is into prostitution, and it would even be enabling the lady. You can imagine a mother, for crying out loud. So our parents need to go back to the drawing board. Need to understand that they need to do things right if they want our society to be better. Because if you have a parent that can question you, you know that even no matter how much you have or make, they would question you. You will sit tight. You will understand that, okay, I can't just come here and just do whatever I like. And again, the society as a whole, we need to stop celebrating people of questionable character. We tend to celebrate anything.
But that is their choice to do, and it's not going to stop. There is good and evil. It's everywhere, and people also have choice. You need to understand that. So if you're telling them that they need to stop celebrating, it's not going to happen. Some people might, yes, some people will have. In every country, everybody has.
Sorry,
choice.
can I say this? Can I say this to you? I mean, growing up, I'll be very honest with you. I know there was a time when I was growing up, okay? Even in your community, when you see someone that maybe you see last year is still hustling and go back after a year, comes back and is already driving one car you don't know about, you start seeing everybody in the community saying, hey, maybe this guy has gone to do money ritual. They start avoiding you. They start acting to. But these days, instead of questioning your source of income, in fact, they are the ones that will even celebrate you.
This is the angle
so
where
it depends
I said,
it depends on the mindset. You need to understand that we as people need to change our mentality. If you change your mentality, you don't celebrate someone because he's rich. You don't ask leak just because the person is leak, and you know that this person's source of income is not right. You do the same thing. The person would understand that, okay, I am not welcome, and he would adjust. But because they know that, okay, they are celebrated, so they don't care. So we have to be we have to have this moral discipline.
you have
personally.
come there. He has come there.
Yeah, so that is why
You have arrived.
That is why we have this segment today. To let our youth know what they can do. What can you do to be productive? What is the best way to go? What is the best practice? You understand? You did not go to school. That is not the end of the way. There are millions of things you can do.
Exactly.
You understand? If you ask me the leaders Nigerians are more close to, I will tell you that those leaders are our pastors and our imams.
Yeah.
The leaders that our Nigerians are more close to are our pastors and our imams. And those are the people our parents are listening to right now.
Exactly. In fact, some wives respect their pastors more than their husband.
The pastors and the imams also grew up in a country that is morally and economically bankrupt. And when a country is economically bankrupt, automatically morality begins to decay.
Decline, yeah, it declines.
So whether you are a man of God or a boy of God, in a situation where it is tight, where you don't have to preach the truth, otherwise you will not see Gary to soak, you will now find that your morality will begin to decay.
In fact, in a setting, in a church whereby the pastors speaks the truth to the people, that congregation don't go these days. Everybody wants to hear charity, money, prosperity. If you're not pushing that, man, you're not having people.
Okay, I understand what you guys are saying. I understand that perfectly. But, I would say we that have traveled, or we that was opportunity to leave Nigeria and see results. the country that is right now going toe to toe with US is not a Christian country.
One thing I feel like we that have seen the world need to also do better is that we need to go back home. We need to invest home. We need to support the system. Most people are scared about when it comes to investing back home because they feel maybe someone can mismanage their business and all of this. And to some extent, I understand it's not easy. The world have changed. These days, you can even be here and monitor your business.
No. There are two sides to this solution you are looking for.
Yes.
One side that you can never talk out of is government.
Exactly.
Then another side now, if at all you want to find possibilities outside government, are individuals who endeavor, NGOs, philanthropists that will say, okay, I want to empower 50 people.
Yeah.
I want to train these people on AI.
Empowerment, yeah.
I want to train these people on these skills. I want to teach these people how to make soap. I want to
That is
teach
what
these
I'm
people how
talking
to
about.
make
And
this.
there are a lot of people in Nigeria that can do that.
There are a lot of people, including the politicians.
A lot of people in
including these
diasporas.
politicians.
In fact.
Okay, imagine this. Okay, I agree. Still 100 million naira. But at least use just 10 million naira and empower some youth to learn something. Is this so much to ask?
But if politicians empower those people,
you see, there's this common trend now. There's this common trend now, okay? There's this common trend now. People go on TikTok, they buy expensive gifts and start throwing gifts on people. Sometimes I sit down and be like, you spend maybe 500,000, gifting this person. Okay, you give this person today. Tomorrow he comes back expecting you to gift him again. Okay, why not take that 500,000? Maybe you tell, 10 people, if you want to learn how to make soap, I want to, invest in you. But people are not willing to do that. They just want to do this, let people see me. You understand? Being in the face of the people. Like, okay, I'm the one gifting this person. We, Nigerians, we tend to be loud for no reason.
It all boils down to the moral bankruptcy.
We tend to be loud for no reason.
Down to that. Everything we are discussing today boils down to moral and economic bankruptcy. These two things work pari passu.
Exactly.
So if we have to find a solution, one, aside government, philanthropists have to come in. You have already started your project, believe me. Exactly. I pray for more people to come in this line. You know why? Because apart from the fact that we need to train our youths to have skills, we also need to train our youths' morality. What is National Orientation Agency doing in Nigeria? Why is that organization, that department in the Nigerian government so silent? Are they just there receiving salaries? Because I'm sure they are being paid. Why are they not creative enough to kill this moral bankruptcy in Nigeria, where Nigerian youth should learn to be content and learn skills?
The thing about,
I cannot sit down and code because I believe that in the next 3 days, this coding is not going to put $20,000 on my table to go to club.
No,
I cannot sit down and farm because if I farm, it's going to take 6 to 9 months for this thing to grow. And my girlfriend is asking me for an iPhone.
No,
National Orientation Agency, it is their duty to retain, sustain, and also update the moral fabrics of the Nigerian youth.
This is not how the world works. This ChatGPT that we are hearing today, or we started hearing since 2022, right? Do you know when they started building ChatGPT? They started building ChatGPT since 2014, 2015. How many years ago? The ChatGPT that you're hearing right now.
Even the China we are celebrating today.
Yeah.
Check their history.
All these things takes time. All these things takes time. You have to build yourself. You have to try. You have to try.
The room is not built today.
Anything that you know that when it stands, is going to stand strong, takes time to build. So you have to, there is no, is it Facebook? Facebook, the code was written for years before it was launched. So all this AI, Apple, app application, if you're going into that, is not something that you start today. In the next 3 months is completed. It depends on the kind of app you're writing anyways. So all this something that is going to elevate our country. We are talking about something that is going to help Nigeria compete, because there are most people that wants to compete. And we are talking about Nigeria being the third most populous nation in the world. So we have to be talking to the mind of Nigerians. We have to let them know that, okay, the way you are thinking is not the way to go about it.
But that's where National Orientation Agency comes in.
They're not going to do anything. They've been there for how many years?
Okay, then in the absence of that, let's come back to us.
Government is not going to do anything again. Our government have been there for how many years? You need to understand that the kind of people we have in power, that the politicians right now, they want you to worship them. That's the kind of politicians we have in Nigeria. So if you're saying your politicians are going to do this, they are not going to do it.
Okay, I get the point.
How old am I now? How old I am now? Nigeria has never progressed. So what do you think that is going to make Nigeria progress?
Okay, so I get the point.
In the next 10 years, without you speaking to the mind of Nigerians.
Okay.
So, when you're saying your government is going to do this, they're not going to do jack. So you need to say, I am going to do this, UAY. You need to take on project. You need to take on project, Samson. This is what we are talking about. If you want to see Nigerians compete, leave your government out of it.
You can't leave the government out of it.
No, wait.
Trust me.
Wait.
We can't.
At this point, I think I understand.
Wait.
Yeah, I
leave your
understand where it's
government
coming
out
from.
of it.
Yeah.
How old are you? I am 30-something years. What has my government done for me?
Nothing.
What has your government done for you?
Yeah.
But you are here now, right?
Yeah.
You have seen that there is a way that you can help somebody back home.
Yeah.
I have seen it. Have you seen it? So that is what I am talking about. That is what I'm saying that we need to be vocal about. We need to tell Nigerians, okay, if you want to speak directly to somebody like Obi Kubana, for example, you can speak to Obi Kubana. You can take it on to make sure that if that is what the kind of thing you want to be doing, let Obi Kubana start charity project. What kind of charity project is that?
Train people on something.
Train people
On something. Produce something.
right? Most people can do that in Nigeria. Nigeria is 200 million plus right now, and in the next 25 years, we are going to be the third most populous nation in the world. So we are going to be, we that said that we have seen the light and we have seen how it's working, now we need to speak to Nigerians. Forget about your government, they're not going to do anything. We have so many Nigerians right now, we have millions of Nigerians that are doing something, employing Nigerians without the help of government. And before 10, 15 years, Nigerians can decide, okay, we can start doing something. It was indigenes that funded Obi on his campaign 2 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. It was Nigerians abroad and at home, right? So are you saying that those people cannot also do something to help other Nigerians set them up?
My brother, you are for once now. I believe
so
you.
Do you know
right.
that Obi Kubana's
change their mentality?
Let's say, do you know that? Okay, let me say, most private organizations in Nigeria, they are the one that tied their road to their facilities, right? Most people in Nigerians they have power plants. They are giving other Nigerians light. That is not done by the government, is it? So there are a little Nigerian government can do. You see billionaires right now. You see billionaires, if you want to use America as an example, you see American billionaires right now saying what is happening in America. If you cannot tell me that a billionaire in America can sponsor your campaign with $200 million, and you will not do something or put a policy that will work in his favor. Okay, so what I am saying right now is for us to educate Nigerians.
Yeah, exactly. I understand you.
We should be the things that we are doing right now that we are seeing results. We should be showing it to them. We should be showing them where we come from. But look at the progress that I have been able to achieve without the help of my government. I am not a Yahoo. Look at my skills. Everybody can see it, right? But this thing that you think that is going to take heaven and earth to learn is no. You just have to be consistent. And consistency is not digging 6 feet grave or going to Mountain Everest.
Okay.
Consistency means that you can come today and put 1 hour. Tomorrow, put 1 hour. Next tomorrow, put 1 hour. If you're telling them that you have to wait for the government, and you know that the government is not going to do anything, you know quite all right that the government is not going to do anything. Our former president, Obasanjo, said that if you are going to school, you should learn something that when you come out, you'll be self-employed. That is one example, right? Since I was born, what they do is fuel price going up, fuel price going up, fuel price going up. Somebody will come and siphon what they can for the next 4 or 6 years, and the person leaves. If the person is in Senate, is going to be a career politician. And the person would like to wash the other person's ass so that when the person, they know how to, keep everybody in chains. They know how to keep themselves in chain so that I will not come and be saying what you're doing outside. Right? When you empower Nigerians will see, I don't need that 5,000 they're going to give. I don't need that 10,000 they're going to give.
Okay, so let me say something. Okay, in as much as you're actually making a valid point, okay, you are making a valid point regarding trying to what you're saying in essence is let's be our own solution.
Yes.
Let's not wait for the government.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like you have a point, yes, but there are some pros and cons regarding what you are saying, and the cons regarding this is that okay, fine. First of all, I need you to understand that we need to practically sensitize our social media space in this regard. Yes, you're working, you're making money. Yes, right or no, right or wrong, you're making money.
Yes.
You have the skill set. It's not like these people you are talking about don't see or don't even understand that you can make money from this so and so skill set or these vocations. Okay, they know. You understand? But imagine you now making 1 million naira in a month. The way you're going to be prudent about your spending, your show-offs, what you can achieve with that 1 million naira, you won't be able to compare it with maybe a fraudster that could just make 20 million naira at once and decide to go and buy a Lamborghini. So this young boy growing up sees you that is making 1 million naira and see this boy that just make 20 million and buy a Lamborghini. He's trying to compare and contrast and be like, I think I prefer this route. So I feel like we need to understand that in the social media space, anybody that is showing off stuff online and his source of income is questionable, government partners like EFCC should bring them in, question them. Let them be able to.
The EFCC you're talking about, do you trust the EFCC?
That's what I'm saying. Let them be able to. If they are doing this, if they are doing that,
it will be
that
very
way,
difficult to escape the government
that
in
way,
this solution.
that
you are
way.
looking for.
No.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish.
No.
Can I finish?
Yes.
That way,
Finish.
they will stop showing off. Then anybody that is going to show off online will be someone that is making money legitimately, and that way it will be easier for this young adult to be able to follow step in whatever you are preaching. You can be preaching 1,001 thing, but they won't listen to you because they see a better option. That is number one. That's what I think.
And boys and orientations, the moral.
Do you get? So see, it's not like they don't know. They see you, but can you compete with a foster? Can you? What you're making? Can you compete with a foster? It's not possible. So at first,
So if we cannot compete with the foster, what should we do now?
We need to do our best. Yes.
What is our best?
Orientation.
We cannot tell them that we need to do our best.
Orientation.
And what is the best that we need to do?
Make a solution.
Like what
You
kind of
orientate.
solution? Yes.
Orientate. While you are still orientating, like I said, while you are still orientating, you need to, as a person, I feel like, if you see someone of questionable character, you can report the person to a financial agency.
So
let them check him.
they should start. Nigerians
Coming
should
back to
start
the
be a
government
bit.
again.
Let them check him.
You cannot escape the
Snitches, right?
government.
You can. Let them check him. Yeah. It's not snitching. It's called blowing the whistle.
Okay.
Blow
A
the whistle.
whistleblower.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor, let's do it like
Blow the
this.
whistle.
Since it
We need
seems
to be
like
be
anytime
each other's checkmate. We need to check each other. We need to start checking each other. If we want a sane environment, check each other.
Okay.
Since it seems to be like asking anything financial from the government is a waste of time, I don't think it is a crime if we ask for morality from the government.
Morality.
Why? Because it takes a government to stop a character.
Oh, exactly.
Even if 100 of you decide to talk about these things today, trust me, it might not impact the youth. Some youth will even go through this speech, now listen to it and just flip. The next thing they want to see is shake it, shake it, shake it. Or one guy throwing the money like this. Meanwhile, deep wisdom has just been flipped.
There's limit to what
Nigerians
we as
are
people
very
can do.
Keep going.
No.
Just like somebody said, you said, right?
No, I'm not saying give up.
No,
I'm not saying give up. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, okay, we may not be asking for financial from the government, right? Because we know they are failed in that angle and they may never rise up. But in the angle of moral orientation, we need their support. Because why? It is what the youths they watch on TV that they learn. So now, I'm not saying EFCC should go and start questioning everybody's spraying money, but at least stop any of all this lavishness on media. Because it is corrupting the minds of our youth. And it is only the government that can do that. You and I cannot stop
do
that.
that.
Like what?
Okay, for example, now, look at the
you
EFCC
see somebody will
now.
just come online, just start showing how many mansions he has made,
Look
how
at-
he's spraying
But
bundles,
it's
and then
Look at what
It's
EFCC
everywhere
is
in the
doing.
world.
our Nigerian artists,
No,
all
no,
they
no, no,
sing
no,
is
it's not
how they
everywhere in the
spray
world.
money.
It's everywhere
carry
in the
children.
world.
You can never see
Give
people.
me an example of what you're talking about. Let me give you an example. What is? Give me one.
You see, anybody that is
Okay,
showing
show me
off
where in
wealth,
China they are spraying
anybody
money
showing
like
off wealth
Huh?
online,
Show me where in China they are
anybody
doing that.
showing
How
off wealth
many,
online
how many,
abroad
social media
has
people do you know
a
in
very
China?
genuine source
How
of
many influencers do you
income.
know from China?
Is
Okay,
that-
why is it that it
We're
is scarce?
saying-
Because
Why?
it isn't there.
Okay, see, don't use China. You're not going
I
to
will
see
use
that
Arab.
kind of thing.
I will
coming out
use
from
China. They are the
I
most
will use Arab,
creative.
this Arab country as an example
You are
for
not
him.
going to see such thing coming out from China.
Sorry.
You are not going to see such thing coming out from North Korea. Now,
Why?
you know the kind of government they practice. You know.
Okay.
Everything about them is, how should I say this, is checked seriously.
By a
Everything
serious
By
government.
way-
by
serious
So
government.
is that the kind of government you want?
Now,
Is that the kind
That's
of
why
government
I
you want?
said
Is that the
we are-
government you want?
Is it bad
Is
to have
it
that
not
kind of
working
government?
for them?
Is it not working?
Okay, you want that kind of
go on
government.
TikTok, you will see a China
Bro,
woman
can I
teaching
ask
you
you a
how to
question?
make something. Go on Nigerian TikTok, you see a lady
Bro,
showing you how
no,
to shake yash.
You
If
see,
you
If
want
the government of China
morals-
did not regulate it,
no.
how will their morality stand
see,
firm?
See, what Chinese government is doing is they are creating a viable environment for business to thrive. And the government also supports businesses. That
They
is what
are
the government
creating,
is
right?
doing.
That means
is
they
what the
are
government-
creating.
That is what the government is doing. It's not government going to shake nyash. If you don't want your government to, is not to go and arrest people. You are telling your government to regulate social media.
Exactly.
That is exactly what you
One
said.
is regulation.
No, so you support regulating.
Why not?
Yes. Why will I not support
Regulation
no,
doesn't mean
no, no.
cancelling.
No, I
Don't
just
get it
want
wrong,
to
bro.
Secondly,
no.
Nobody say cancel.
No.
Regulate.
You are saying regulate social
Now,
media.
by regulation,
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
saying.
Regulating social media means they are going to remove a certain amount of free speech.
Nobody is talking about
No,
free
no, you
speech.
see now, you are
No,
making
no.
political.
No, no,
Is
you
that
are
not
Don't
freedom
get it
of
wrong.
expression?
Freedom
Victor,
of expression is not
Victor,
spraying
Wait,
money,
Victor,
bro.
Dancing is a freedom of expression.
No, wait,
Victor,
let me
I will
explain something.
totally
Nobody's
stand
saying you don't
against
dance.
this fact that you feel that you can do without the government, and
No,
still yet all you are
we
saying
cannot.
boils back
No,
to them.
no.
I am not asking the government for
create
money.
a viable environment, right? And policies that will work.
Now,
They put light and road. Give light, give road, policies that will work. Right? I'm not saying
That's
they should
just
create,
one aspect.
I'm not saying they should create job.
No.
I'm not saying they should start citizen sensitization. They cannot do it. Government cannot do it.
To be frank with you-
If you said that government should start citizen sensitization, that means you are giving them hand to start checking whatever you are doing. You are telling them to regulate social media. That is what they are doing.
I want to make a point
During that
here.
time that they closed Twitter in Nigeria, why did they close Twitter in Nigeria?
Sorry, I want to make a point
Why?
here.
Why did Buhari close Twitter in Nigeria?
I want to make that. We're talking
Do you
now.
know-
You are
do you
talking
know-
about free speech.
Do you know why Mohammed
You are
Buhari
talking
closed Twitter in
about free
Nigeria?
speech.
That is exactly what you've done. Because of Mohammed Buhari tweeted something, and Twitter took that thing down.
Do you know?
He blocked.
Do you know
social
that we're
media.
talking about-
now? You
what
are
we're
telling
talking here
them
now
to
is
check.
different from
You are
free
telling them
speech.
to regulate social media.
Sorry, can I say something? Can I say something right now?
okay, how do you think you can actually...
People misbehaving is done everywhere.
Look at this Naira mutilation issues that have been happening recently.
Yes.
I want to protest my point on that.
Yeah.
Are you saying people have not been, advocating and saying this is not right?
What is Naira mutilation? What is that?
I mean, spraying money, matching our currencies.
Where did they not spray money?
You can't. Sorry, have you ever seen someone spray money in UAE or maybe USA spraying dollar? Even if you go abroad,
so they don't spray
if you
dollar.
go abroad,
So if you go abroad, in US.
take it or leave it. If you go abroad, people that spray dollar are still we Africans.
You don't see videos of what happens in the club.
Check online. You will never see.
You don't see.
You will
videos of what
never see
happened
an
in the
American.
club.
You will never see an American go out there and start playing dollar
In the club.
If you show me one, I'll give you.
Sir
I'll give
Victor,
you
take it
500
to the
dirham.
bank. When it comes to morality, we are totally backward.
I'm telling you,
Just because
you can't
maybe
see.
you see some part of America spraying it doesn't mean that our orientation is not more corrupt.
In fact, anybody spraying
And
it
then
is not
if you are
American.
thinking
But
that
that
they
is
want
not
to
spraying
no,
money is not a problem
Sir,
in Nigeria.
if you
It
are
is.
thinking
It's
that
not.
no,
It is.
Victor,
No,
you
it
cannot
is.
be contradicting yourself at this point.
You're making
It
it
is.
be a problem.
It is a problem. Trust me.
No, Victor.
Trust me, it is
You
a
cannot
problem.
be
Spraying
contradicting
money
yourself.
is
now.
why our youth are not productive.
I want to ask
It
you
is
one
not why
question.
our youth are not productive.
Remember.
People spraying money like that.
We come to the
Most of them.
we come on the
Most of them,
platform.
not all of them.
Wait. We
Make
come
this
on
money
the
from questionable characters.
We come on the platform to tell Nigerians to be productive.
Yeah.
We tell them what works. Let them know what works.
And what does not work.
No. Forget who his character is questionable. Forget it. That is not your business. What you are here to do is to tell them that you can do this.
Okay,
you
so
can do this.
basically what you are saying is that you are telling them to. You are telling us to tell them, listen to what I preach. Don't look what I do.
Sorry?
That's what you're saying. Like, follow what I preach. Don't follow what I do.
What works?
What works is that you lead by example.
No, what works?
Then
what is
you
working?
checkmate those that are not leading by example.
That is what works?
Yeah.
So you're telling them...
While you orientate, you checkmate.
Wait, you are telling them to start...
and you cannot checkmate. It is the government that can checkmate. Am I right or wrong?
No.
You don't have the power to checkmate.
Okay.
The only thing you can do is just to blow the whistle.
No, let me remind you.
There is no orientation without...
Let me remind you of our topic. Let me remind you of our topic again. In the next 25 years, that is in 2050, Nigeria is going to be the third populous nation in the world.
Yes.
And we want them to be productive.
Yes.
Right? Judging from where we are coming, judging from where we are now, we have seen things that are working.
Good.
You have seen people starting something from scratch,
Good.
believing in what they have started.
Exactly.
That with time is going to yield profit.
Yeah.
That there is going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. You see so many people doing it. Right now, you are not seeing so many people snitching. It doesn't work that is not what we are going to come on the platform to tell them to start checkmating each other. No. That is the work of the government. Government knows how they got their intelligence. They know how they got their intelligence of what happens in the society. It's not me that is going to tell them to start hiring people to snitch on other people. That is government work. Government knows how they will go and get informants. That is informants. You are not going to tell people now to start
No. You can Sir Victor, going by the origin of this topic.
Yes.
Okay, let's assume now I want to go by way of solution.
Yes.
Exactly.
How do you want to teach an average youth AI if you have not worked on his mindset to know why he needs to be patient enough to go through that course? How do you want to tell a Nigerian youth to go to farm if you have not been able to walk through his mind to know that he needs patience, contentment to go through that stage? How do you want to teach a Nigerian youth to say, okay, you can make this cream, or you can make this soap, or you can sew this cloth, and then you become a millionaire through there? Hold on. No, sir. Maybe you need to give me a break this time.
I'll give you a break.
How can you do this without first working on their mind? So there is no way you can tell me that you want to make Nigeria work without first making their mind work. I have a leader. Okay, in my organization, I have a leader. If my leader wants me to work, the first thing he does is to make my mind see the light of why I need to do this thing. Even when I'm exhausted, I remind myself, okay, you are doing this thing, and at the same time, you are learning some skills that can be useful. And then I will summon courage and continue to learn that skills. What is that? Mindset change. Mindset change cannot come from just you and even 1 million of you now.
So
mindset change will only come through government and the National Orientation Agency. I cannot be a Nigerian youth watching someone flaunt dollars on TV and telling you he made it in a day, and then you want me to go and learn AI.
No,
you
but-
must control certain things.
no,
I'm
but-
not saying control freedom of speech, but I'm saying there are certain things you need to regulate.
Okay,
First.
guys. You've seen when it comes to Nigerian situation and Nigerian talk, we all do it with passion. It's not because we love where we're coming from, and that is the right thing to do. It's called being a nationalist. So on that note, if this is your first time coming across Vicinfluential, and we're going to do this more often, I promise you. If this is your first time coming across Vicinfluential, please share this video, subscribe, and comment. Your opinion matters. You see, it's a free word. Your opinion, we would like to see it so that we can include it on our next episode. Thank you, and see you next on Vicinfluential.